प्रविश्यमवाच इमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्य किल शक्तिधरस्वधाम्ना अन्यांश्च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्राणान् नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं गुरुं हि स्वयं सत्यः प्रज्ञाभक्तिविनीतयः युक्तिश्चाभिवृता नित्यं तं प्रणमाम्यहं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। Śivamānasapūjā stotra. So this stotra is attributed to Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada, as many other stotras. Two verses in this stotra, the last two, is what I heard long back, and it somehow got into my mind. And in many places, the last one also is stated. Karacharana kritam karmajam. The other verses I have not heard. And suddenly, when I asked Varsha what to speak, so she said Śivamānasapūjā. So I thought that I will learn this stotra by trying to provide some explanation. That was the intention with which it was taken. So yesterday I saw it a little bit. Today, after coming here, I saw some more. This stotra is something which is quite interesting. 4 verses have been composed in 1 meter. The last verse is very different. There are only 5 verses. It doesn't have Falashruti kind of a thing, as many other stotras have. So that is one distinction which we find in this stotra. Several stotras have been composed by Bhagavad Pada, and I don't think they have been described as Manasapūjā stotra. Puja can be of 3 types, because puja is basically an act of worship. That is what we say, puja. Puja and pujanam, they mean one and the same. So this puja can be done very elaborately, and there are descriptions of 64 upacharas in a puja. There are descriptions of 36 in puja. There are descriptions of 18, and there are descriptions of 16. Normally, 16 is more common. It is what we call a Shodashopachara puja. Okay? Shodashopachara puja. This Shodashopachara is starting with dhyana, avahana, and so on. Others also will include them, but in between, a few other things will be there, and various upacharas will be done. Now, we have this phrase, puja qualified by manasa. So Manasa Puja. What is Manasam? Mind. Manaha? Okay. Manasa Puja. So how do you get the Vigraha? Manasaha Puja, suppose we say Shiva Puja means Shivasya Puja. So it is not worship of Manasa. We leave some Shiva now. That is correct. Manasa Puja. So it has become Manasa Puja. So that Akara has to be brought. In fact, Manasam Vachikam Papam. Have you heard? Karmana Samparchitam Sri Ramasubramanian Vyapopati Nasamsheha. And we have this word Manasa appearing even in Bhagavad Gita. Apo Manasam Uchyate. Right? Manasam Tapaha Uchyate. So this Manasa is same as Manas. Okay. So the word has been taken note of by Panini through one sutra. Okay. You repeat the sutra. Prajnadipyascha. Prajnadipyascha. Repeat. Prajnadipyascha. See, normally the form Manasam means related to Manaha. Okay. This is called unsuffix. There is a suffix called un. If you tag that, then there will be Adi Vriddhi. Okay. So therefore, Manasa will be the form. So here, this un means that which belongs to, that which is associated, connected with. This is the general meaning that this un suffix does. But in a few cases, this un suffix will be Swarthe un. Swarthe means it doesn't add any other meaning, but the other form has also been employed to refer to the same meaning which the word carries, whether it is added with un or not added with un. So in this word, Manasa here refers to Manas. Okay. But Manas Shabda, if you try to decline, it will have one particular way. Whereas Manasam is a neutral gender word. Okay. So Manasena Puja, Manasa Puja. So that is how we have to understand. Through Manaha. That's all it is. Only. So through Manaha, when you say, if you want to qualify Puja with this adjective, then it is with a certain intent. So which means Kayena Vina. Okay. So that is what is the intent. Manasa eva or Manasena eva Puja, Manasa Puja. Normally, there will be other padarthas involved. So there are various other padarthas which will be involved in puja. So here, neither physical action nor other external entities are involved. It is only through manas. So it is to indicate that this word Manasa Puja, offering worship only employing mind. Okay. So that only is sort of indicated through this adjective. Okay. Manasenaiva nirvartita puja, Manasa Puja. Okay. So you cannot say Manasa. Okay. So since they have used the phrase manasam, okay, manasena nirvartita puja manasa puja. Okay, so the subjective is vyavartaka. Vyavartaka means it differentiates. Okay, so it differentiates the puja which is done employing other organs also. Suppose you want to do abhisheka, you need water, you need various other things. So you need a vigraha, you need a patra, you need various things. So now here, all that is not there. So that is what is indicated through this phrase. So Shivasya manasa eva nirvartita puja manasa puja. Now this manasa nirvartita means this action can be broadly divided into threefold. Kayena manasa vacha. In fact, we use this verse, right? Kayena manasa vacha. That is there. See, Kayena manasa vacha. So this karmana. So there are various other ways of seeing this. Now, manasam vachikam papam is also used. So this broadly, one can say this physical, verbal, and mental. Okay, actions can be broadly divided into three types. So here, vachikam, can it be included or not? So kayika is gone, right? So when you are doing manasa puja, of course, doing kayika puja without manaha involved is not of much use. There is a Hindi doha. What is it called? Mala to karume phire. Bolo. Very good, excellent. See, mala to karume phire. So some act is going on. Jeeb phire. So the tongue is also doing some activity. Whereas this mind is just wandering everywhere. Okay? So this cannot be considered as smaran. Here to sumiran nahi. So this mind has to be there. That is essential. The other things are not that essential. Without this, the other things. Then why are we involving other things if this is the most important component? This is because this is the most difficult thing to keep under our spell. So there are other things would facilitate. Other things will facilitate. So that's why this chittavritti nirodha is the most difficult thing. So chittavritti nirodha. This is what is called yoga. Okay. Not lifting hands, legs, etc. That is also going to facilitate perhaps. But ultimate yoga is chittavritti nirodha. So you have a certain capacity to put your thoughts into check or give it a certain direction. It is how it is defined. What is the first sutra, Patanjali? Next one. Radrashtu, not Saraswabhavi. Sarupi. Then fourth one. Vritti sarupya mitaratra vrittayah panchatayah. Okay. Vedant, you tell. See, atha yoga anushāsanam. First sutra. At the end of the class, you should tell. They will ask. Okay. So the second one is yogaha chittavritti nirodha. Nirodha. Nirodha means arresting. Okay. So yogaha chittavritti nirodha. So the flow of the thoughts. So goes on into all sorts of direction, and without asking your permission, it moves from one to the other thing, okay, so swiftly. So you should be able to control. And particularly when we are in distress, so it unnecessarily gets into the same thought again and again and again and again. And it's only going to be making you more despondent. You should just throw it off and come out. So that is what we have to do. So this is where some training is required, some grace is also required. So through this puja and various things, stotras, so we try to bring that grace factor into our own favorable to us. That is what I would say. Into our own fold. We try to bring this. That is why we have in Bhagavad Gita, he says, Adhishthanam tatha karta. See. So there are various factors. See, Panchaitani Mahavaho. See, Sarva Karmanam Siddhaye. So we undertake various activities. So for Siddhi means for the success of it. Sarva Karmanam Siddhaye. Wise people have identified 5 things. Panchaitani Mahavaho Karanani Nibodha. Siddhaye Sarva Karmanam. So Adhishthanam Tatha Karta Karanancha Prithagvidham. So Vividhascha Prithak Cheshtaha. This puja is an activity. Here also all of them are required. Karanancha Prithagvidham. Vividhascha Prithak Cheshtaha. Daivan Chaivatra Pancha. He says, the final factor is something which is not in our hands. Some unknown variables can come and take away. So this is what he is trying to say. Similarly, we may be engaging in studies, but nothing will stay in our minds. So these are all factors which are not completely in our hands. So that's where we try to seek grace. I want to get rid of thought so that I get into some other thought. So that requires a certain training, certain grace. This is yearned by us. Yearned by us. So how to earn this grace is what has been taught to us by various acharyas. Okay? So this chitta vritti nirodha has to be considered as the most important factor in all sorts of activities. Okay? Whether it is cooking, suppose you keep something, you forget, then this will get charred. So various things are there. So all things have to be done. So it has to just strike. Okay. So Manasa Puja here, this Manasa factor is most important. Vachika can be used, and Kayika is something which is not there, is what is meant. So for doing this Manasa Puja also, this verses can be said aloud. This verses can be internalized, and then you can do it without murmuring outside also. But these verses have to go so that the thought flow is there with us. Okay. So this can be either verbally used, but the Kajika is not there and other padarthas are not there. This is what we have to understand. Okay. Karta obviously is there. Okay. Various karanas need not be there. The only karana that is essentially is antahkarana. Okay. So this antahkaranam is the only karana. Okay. Now there are 5 verses in this. So Śivamānasapūjā. space is too far. Okay. So I was telling you this sutra. Remember, how does the word manasa get formed? Prajnadibhyascha. Prajnadibhyascha. Repeat. So how do you understand this? Prajnadi means that which begins with prajna. Understand? Prajnadi. Prajna adau yasya bhavati. Okay, that group is called Prajnadi. So here there is a sutra which says this anpratyaya can be added, okay, in swartha sense. Swartha means without adding any additional thing. There also it can be used. Prajnadibhyascha means, so in various sutras, you will find this adi adi, which means he is basically referring to a group of words. A group of words have been listed by the grammarians. Okay. And that group, sometimes it is considered as a group which is fixed group. Sometimes it is considered as non-fixed group. So non-fixed groups, similar words can be added. That has to be understood only from the usage that is there in the word. Okay. That is what is technically called as Akriti Gana. Okay. The name Akriti Gana means Gana is a group. So Akriti means of this form. So there may be a few other things which can be added. In fact, this Prajnadi Gana is considered as an Akriti Gana. I'll give you a few more examples for you so that you get a feel. See? So Manaha and Manasam. This is one thing. Okay. Then you have the Vanik and Vanijaha. Okay. Vanijaha. So similarly, you have Prajnaha, Prajnaha. Okay. See, Prajnaha, Prajnaha. So both are used in the same sense. Okay. Prajnaha, Prajnaha. Similarly, Choraha, Chauraha. So, Choraha, Chauraha. Chauraha is also used in the sense of a thief only. Okay. So these are all words which are there. And sometimes you will find words which are not in this group. For instance, you all know the word Bandhu, right? There is a word called Bandhavaha. Okay. So this is again this way only. Okay. Bandhavaha. Okay. So Bandhavaha is same as Bandhu. Bandhava, Bandhavu, Bandhava. Okay.
Vishnu Vaishnava?
No, that is it. So that is those who belong to only.
Yeah.
Vaishnavaha, when you say Shaivaha. Vishnu Sambandhinaha. That's all. Exactly. This pratyaya is only Tathita only. An is a suffix. Okay. So this is where you find the meaning changing. And in some places it is not changed. So this is one of the cases. That's what I want to tell you. Okay. So Manaso Vyaparaha. Suppose you say, so this is mental related to mind. There Manasa. I am Vyaparaha, Manaso Vyapara. Suppose you say. There it should be understood as un. Used in different sense. Sometimes it is used in Swartha. Okay. So this is how we have to understand. Similarly, we have this, you have heard of Nyaya Sutra. Tarka Sangraha is a text which is authored by Annam Bhatta a couple of centuries before. The primary text is by, that's what I wanted to know, dash the name. Jaimini is Vimamsa Sutra. Vedanta Sutra is Brahma Sutra by Badarayana, Vyasa. There is something called Vaisheshika Sutra, that is by Kanada. And the Nyaya Sutra, Yoga Sutra, Patanjali. Okay. Yoga Sutra, Patanjali. Mimamsa Sutras by Jaimini. Vedanta Sutras, Vyasa. Of course, the Ashtadhyayi is Panini. That is also Sutras. There are various other sutras also. See, Shulba Sutra, Shrauta Sutra, Grihya Sutra, Dharma Sutra. There are many people who have authored. Okay. So this Nyaya Sutra is by Gautama. Okay. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because this word Gautama is once again like this. Gautama and Gautama. So this unpratyaya here is Swarthe. Okay. Unpratyaya here is Swartha. Gautama and Gautama mean one and the same. Okay. Interesting. There's a fun which is created by a person, made out of his name. Sometimes we try to scold. Tamil, I have heard this. Yerumamadu, Yerumamadu means sometimes you just call that fellow a buffalo. Because that fellow does not listen to and then does not digest what you are saying. So you tell the buffalo to go, it will not digest. It is in that sense they use this. So this is a phrase which is used to create a sense of shame in the other fellow, ignite something so that he becomes responsive. So that is why we use this to sometimes describe. Sometimes to describe the characteristic of the person also we use, like tube light. It's a metaphor, right? Sometimes we use camphor. Sometimes we use tube light to describe that person's mental makeup. That is descriptive. Sometimes to make him little ashamed of what he is doing and try to correct him, we use some things. Gautama, this person said, see, in this Shastra, Gautama Shastra, Nyaya Sutra, they say this ultimate Purushartha is Dukha Bhava. You understand? So the ultimate goal of life is Dukha Bhava. So certain other people say it is not restricted to that. It is Sukha Prapti. This is what they say. You understand? Sukha Prapti and Dukha Bhava. Both are short breaks, right? Both are Purushartha. Suppose you want to learn Sanskrit, it's also a means to Sukha. So Jnana, you gain some Sukham. Okay. So through Jnana, you gain certain purity of mind, clarity of thought, right? That is why in Bhagavad Gita we have this. What is that? Nahi jnanena sadrisham. Complete. Pavitramiha vidyate. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitramiha vidyate. We have this. See, there cannot be a greater purifying thing than knowledge, purifying agent. Nahi jnanena sadrisham. Sadrisham means equal to. Pavitram iha vidyate. So this jnanam is considered as a very powerful tool. And in this Shastra, what they have done is, they say this dukkha bhava. In fact, the second sutra goes like this. Dukkha janma pravritti dosha mithya jnananam uttarottarapaye tadanantarapaya apavargaha. Apavarga is moksha. Okay. So he gives 5 things, he lists 5 things. Dukkha, janma, pravritti, dosha, mithya jnananam. Uttarottara, what does it mean? Uttarottara. Uttarottara apaye tadanantara payat apavargaha. Apavargaha means moksha. Okay? Apavargaha moksha. So he says, if the later things get subsided, the previous thing automatically goes. Uttarottarasya apaye tadanantarasya means that which is preceding to that will also be gone. And it starts with dukkha. Understand? Dukkha, janma, pravritti, dosha, mithya jnananam, uttarottarasya apaye. This actually means the later is something which is responsible for causing the former. Get the point? So if the later is the cause of the former, once the cause is gone, the effect will be gone. Okay? So if the cause is gone, the effect is gone. So apavarga moksha is like this, they are described. So apavarga moksha, ultimate aim of the life. So is dukkha bhava. Apaya is eradication, elimination. So uttarottarasya apaye tadanantarasya, that which is preceding it, apayat apavargaha. This is how the sutra is. Based on this sutra, so some other philosopher says, dukkha bhava cannot be considered as the primary purpose of life. Sukha prapti should be described as the primary purpose of life. Okay? So all our efforts are for sukha prapti or dukkha bhava. Some effort may be there for dukkha bhava. Okay? So dukkha bhava, some effort may be there. So therefore the philosopher said, you have a piece of stone. Does the stone have dukkha? No. So therefore this fellow said, it muktaye yashilatvaya shastramuche sachetasam gotamam tam avetaiva. See, Gotama means, see, Tama is a pratyaya which is used to refer to Tamaha as an independent word is Andhakara. Tama pratyaya. Best superlative, very good, correct. See, Buddhimat Tamaha. Okay, Manda Tamaha. Okay, Shighra Tamaha, Manda Tamaha. So similarly, Gotama. Go refers to cow. So Gotama is the superlative degree. So this fellow should be considered as Gotama. Okay. So his name is Gotama and his philosophy is also like that. That is how he gets. Why? Because he is saying he is promoting a Shastra, Nyaya Shastra. And Nyaya Shastra, he says, is for Mukti. And Mukti, according to him, is becoming like a Shila. Shila does not have dukkha, right? Only we have Chetanas have dukkha. This fellow has promoted a philosophy only to become a rock. Okay? So this is how this Muktaye Yesh Shilatvaye Shastra Muche. For whom Sachetasam? For people, for thinking people like us, he is advocating a Shastra just to become a stone. See, therefore, Gotama. This is a fun which is done. Okay. Anyway, that is an interesting discussion whether we should consider Sukha as Paramapurushartha or Dukkha Bhava as Paramapurushartha. Anyway, both of them, okay, are important. So there are very interesting discussions which uphold Sukha as Purushartha. This is because the Dukkha Bhava were Purushartha, right? Then nobody will be working hard. So you want to earn money, you want to have this BMW car, you want to have various things. What for? For experiencing that Sukha, right? So you struggle hard to memorize Bhagavad Gita. What for? So ultimately, I have done this, right? For having that Sukha that I have achieved something. The Dukkha Bhava cannot be otherwise. If Dukkha Bhava were to be there, why would you have this Dukkha? There are so many people who are standing, I have seen this. So for they will go at night, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. I used to see this. Now I don't know what the situation is. 20 years back, I've seen this American embassy. It will be there in Cathedral Road. And these fellows will go at 2 o'clock and then stay there. So standing on the road. And sometimes you may have to stand there in the hot sun, no umbrella, nothing, no water. Why? So for getting this visa, right? So why undertake this dukkha? If there is some other sukha is driving this dukkha, driving you to undertake dukkha. So dukkha bhava cannot be considered as paramapurushartha. Anyway, so this is how the word manasa comes. Now we will get into this.
We do say authentika dukkha. But we do say authentika dukkha nivrutti paramatma sukha prapti.
Both can be. See, not that alone. So this art
cannot be something to explain. Actually is nothing. It has nothing, right?
But if you have headache, do you want to get rid of it or not? That is all. See, the abhava is what you want. Okay. For some people, abhava of the other person is important. Whether you get something else. See. So the absence itself. Okay. So is sukha. So anyway, so now we get into this Śivamānasapūjā. So this first 4 verses. So I wanted to basically make you understand that this word manasam should not be mistaken as related to mind. Okay. So it is samastapada. Manasena nirvartita puja vansa puja. Shivasya. So that is how this word comes. Now the first verse is Ratnai kalpitamasanam. Repeat.
Ratnai kalpitamasanam. Ratnai kalpitamasanam.
Himajalaihi.
Himajalaihi. Himajalaihi.
Snanancha divyambaram.
Snanancha divyambaram. Snanancha divyambaram.
Ratna vibhushitam.
Ratna vibhushitam. Ratna vibhushitam.
Gamada mudankitam chandanam.
Rugamada mudankitam chandanam. Rugamada mudankitam chandanam.
Jati champaka bilva patra rachitam.
Jati champaka bilva patra rachitam. Jati champaka bilva patra rachitam.
Pushpancha dhupam tatha.
Pushpancha dhupam tatha. Pushpancha dhupam tatha.
Deepam devadanite pashupate.
Deepam devadanite pashupate. Deepam devadanite pashupate.
Kalpitam grihyatam.
Kalpitam grihyatam. Kalpitam grihyatam.
So this is composed in a meter called Shardula Vikriditam. The Shardula Vikriditam is a 19-syllabled meter. So this 19-syllabled meter will be split into two parts. See, there will be a pause generally. It is called yati after 12 syllables. After 12 syllables, there will be a pause which will be given. It's called yati. So there are several kinds of meters, up to 26 syllables per quarter we have in standard compositions. Even this Dhyana Shloka in Bhagavad Gita, Arthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata. See, say the verse.
Arthaya Pratibodhita Bhagavata.
Pratibodhitam.
Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Yasena Grathita Puranam.
Grachitam. Grachitam. Visarga. Anuswara and Visarga cannot be dropped. Very good. Advaita.
Bhagavati Ashtadashadhyayi Ambatvam Anusandadami.
Anusandadhami.
Anusandadhami Bhagavati
Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad
Gita.
Very good. So now if you count Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata, you give a pause there. That is why it is called yati. So when rendering the verse, Narayanena Swayam. Okay. So similarly, in all the four quarters, you will find the same pattern. This is called Shardula Vikriditam. In fact, the definition is Suryashvair Masadistata Saguravaha Shardula Vikriditam. Okay. So the definition of the meter will be presented in the same meter. Okay. Suryashvair. Repeat. Suryashvair Masadistata Saguravaha. Masajastata Saguravaha. Masajastata Saguravaha. Shardula Vikriditam.
Shardula Vikriditam. Shardula Vikriditam.
It starts with Surya and Ashwa. What is the connection? No. It starts with Surya Ashwa, the definition. So that is what I told you.
Oh, there's 7 horses.
Horses is 7 and sun is 12. Dwadasha. Okay. Very good. This is what is called Bhuta Sankhya. Suppose we say Veda means 4. Indriya means 5. Bana means 5. Correct. Correct. So similarly, sun is used to refer to. Suppose you say seasons. They are 6. Okay. That is how they are listed. Tithi means 15. Something like that. Okay. Ashwa is Saptashva. Rasa is Shatu.
What if you find a number that you can't relate to a word? Then
See, it is not so difficult for you to find, man. So you need not necessarily take it all the way. So if you have a single digit, that is good enough. Okay. So for instance, suppose you want to refer to 1. What are the things that you can think of? 1 year, very good. 1 moon. Form, see, Rupa, Chandra, Prithvi, they all refer to 1. Suppose you want to refer to 2. Netra, Chakshu. Okay. Even if it is 8-legged, it will have 2 eyes. Okay. So Netra, Ashwinav. Yes. This is how it is used. Suppose you say Paksha. You have Shukla Paksha and Krishna Paksha. You can think of. So you will construct larger numbers with basic bits.
127. 127.
So you can say 127, or you can say 12-7, or you can say 127. See, 27 you can say nakshatra. 27 you can say nakshatra. See, then you will say nakshatra prithvi. Nakshatra prithivyav. Okay. So you can say, if you want to use 2 letters, this is all something which is brilliant. See, depending upon how many letters you can use, whether it is Guru or Lag, you can use any Thinani. Babhuvav, suppose we say. Bham means Tara. Bham. Bhambe Bhani. That refers to 27. Okay. Bhu is Prithvi. If you say Babhuvav, it means 127. Right? So you start with the least decimal and then you move to the higher decimal places. This is how you represent. Babhu. Babhu, we will not, since if you have to stop, you have to give a case. Suppose 127, if you want to add 3. Babhu Gunaha. Suppose you say. Babhu Gunaha. What will it represent?
3127.
Perfect. See, 3127. See. Ba is 27, then Gu, then Guna. So this is how this goes. Similarly here, Suryashvaihi. Surya refers to 12, Ashva refers to 7. This is not representing number. He is only giving a break. Therefore, Suryashvaihi. Then Masajastataha. They are referring to Magana, Pagana, and so on. Magana, Sagana, Pagana. That is that anyway, I will not get into that. Correct. So this whole thing is called Chandas. Chandas. So you try to specify the pattern using a Gana. Okay. Magana means all Guru. Nagana means all Lagu. Okay. So now you count and then tell me. Kara charana kritam vak karmajam kayajam vak. Count. Kara charana kritam vak kayajam. How many? 15. So the last verse is composed in a meter called Malini. See. Malini. You want to write? So Malini is 15. There it will break after 8. It will break and then 7 is 1. 8 plus 7 is 15. See, so Malini. There the definition is Nanamaya Yuteyam Malini Bhogi Lokai. Repeat. Nanamaya Yuteyam.
Nanamaya Yuteyam.
Nanamaya.
Nanamaya Yuteyam. Nanamaya Yuteyam.
Malini Bhogi Lokai.
Malini
Bhogi Lokai.
Bhogi Lokai. Malini Bhogilokaihi.
This is the definition of Malini. So you will find again only 15 syllables. Na na ma ya ya yu te yam. Malini Bhogilokaihi. So here, Malini, the name of the meter will appear. And then how it breaks, that also will be specified. And what are the groups that constitute this particular metrical form, that will also be stated. Here, if you see this phrase, na, na, ma, ya, ya. So how many are there? Na, na, ma, ya, ya. 5. So 5 ganas. In each one is 3. 5 into 3, 15. Total number of syllables. Nana, ma, ya, ya. So you have nana, then you have ma, then you have ya, ya. Yagana, yagana. Okay. Nana, ma, ya, ya, yuteyam. So nagana is all short. All the 3 syllables are short. See, suppose you take the name Vedanta. How many syllables are there? 3. So Guru Lagu, which is long, which is short?
A is Guru.
Guru.
Da is Guru.
Guru.
Ta is short.
Lagu. Okay. So Vedanta, Guru, Guru, Lagu. Okay. Guru, Guru, Lagu. Suppose I say Varsha. Guru, Guru. See, because there is a conjunct consonant. You take more time. Var, Sha. Okay. So it is Guru, Guru. What is your name? Harini. What is the form? Lagu, Lagu. Okay. So how many patterns can you have with 3 syllables?
9.
Right?
24.
Suppose you take with 2. Varsha. Varsha is like Sita. Both are?
Sita will be Guru Guru.
Varsha is also Guru Guru. Okay. Now suppose I say Rama.
Guru.
Rama.
Guru Guru. Rama, Guru Guru.
Guru Lagu. Rama. Guru Lagu. Suppose I say Hari.
Lagu.
That's all. How many can you have? No, totally.
6.
Right? How 6? Hari, Rama, Rama, Sita. Finished.
4.
That's all. Each syllable can be either short or long. You can add to the 2 syllables 2 more. If the first is short, you can add long or short. First is long, you can once again add long or short. Finished.
So
if I have 3 syllables.
So in one Gana, we calculate how many syllables we calculate?
No, Gana is 3 only, standard.
So with 3 syllables, there will be 6 or
not 6. That's why I'm saying. You didn't understand what I'm saying. So suppose I have 1 syllable, it can have 2 forms or not. So suppose I add 1 more syllable, then 4. Suppose I add 1 more, 8. That's all. The previous one will get multiplied by 2.
Yeah. So when we're calculating with the Ganas, there are 8 options.
That's it. If the Gana is of the size 3, then you can have 8 possibilities.
Yeah, but what are the Ganas?
That is what it is. That is what I was saying. So there are 8. For remembering that, there is a phrase. You write it down. Yamatara Japana Salagam.
Yes, that's what it said.
This is a mnemonic which has been created. Yamatara. Have you written?
Yeah, I'm writing them.
You don't need to write it. You write this phrase. all 8 are known to you. Yamatara, Japana, Salagam. That's it.
But then how do you tell which one should be?
You start reading 3 by 3. Yagana, Yamata. What is it? Matara. That's it. And you go to Nagana. What is it? Short. Lagu, lagu, lagu. You don't go. See, you can go only up to now. That's all. Wait, anyway, that is a different thing. Which I have to teach you by drawing something. That is a different. So as far as this, see, Yagana, see, Nanamayaya Yuteyam. You write down the definition of Malini. Nanamayaya Yuteyam. Read.
Nanamayaya Yuteyam. Malini Bhogi Lokai.
How do you understand this now? Nanamayaya. See, Nagana, Nagana. Then Magana, Yagana, Yagana. Finished. That's all. Nanamayaya Yuta Yam Malini Bhogi Lokaihi. Now guess. Like Surya Shva. Correct. So the loka is used to refer to 7. Okay.
Good word.
So this loka is for 7. Bhogi is representing 8. Bhogi, what does it mean? Have you heard this song? This famous song, Bhogindra Shayinam. Have you heard? Many times. MS has sung. What does it mean? Whom does it describe? Then you can guess. Very nice song. Bhogindra Shayinam. Vishnu. So now you guess. Shayinam means one who is lying. Where is he lying? So Adisheshan is considered as Bhogindra. Then what does Bhogi mean? Indra means snake. Correct. That's it. Bhogi means snake.
Bhogi means snake.
Bhogindra is referring to Adishesha. Okay. So Bhogindra. Bhogi Lokaihi. Okay. So 8 and 7. That is how it splits. Karacharana kritam vāk kāyajam karmajam vā nanamayaya yuteyam malini bhogi lokai.
How 8 for the snake?
The snake 8 is because
this
Lakshmi is also like that. So they use Gaja, Sarpa, Lakshmi, Vasu, all of them referring to 8. So Vasu, you know, Vasu is basically wealth. So you can say after Lakshmi, you have a list. Santana Lakshmi, Saupagya Lakshmi, Dhairya Lakshmi. So as far as the serpent and Gaja are concerned, they say Ashta Diggaja. In the palace. So, yeah, that is the elephants holding or not, but anyway. So this that is a pictorial representation you may find. So similarly, the serpent's holding is also found. Okay. So serpent's holding is also pictorially represented in Puranas. This Ashtadikgaja, I mean, you can think of a fort being protected by huge mighty elephants in 8 corner directions. Okay, they will have entry in those directions. That is how it goes. Okay. So now let us come to this verse. So this is in Shardula Vikridita meter. Okay. Ratnai Kalpitamasanam Himajalai Snanam Chadivyam Varam. So in this verse, he basically, I'll tell you, this first verse itself more or less covers various upacharas. Verse 3 so completes all forms of upacharas. Verse 2, verse 3. Okay. So verse 2, he describes graphically one of the upachara which is called Naivedyam. So verse 3, so it talks about various other forms of upachara. Then verse 4 is slightly different. And verse 5 is what we just saw, Karacharana Kritam. This is how the verses are distributed. Let us read the verse in greater detail. Ratnai Kalpitamasanam. This Shodashopachara, you know, Jayami, Avahayami, Asanam Samarpayami, Arkyam, Achamayam, Avarana, Lupa, Deepa, Naivedya, etc. Okay. So anyway, this list is there, and there may be some minor variations. Okay. So if you want the final Namaskara, that is where it ends with. Okay. Now you may find some slight variations. The first two will be clubbed by some people. Okay. Dhyana and Avahana. Otherwise, it will become Saptadasha. Okay. The Shodasha. When it comes to various other forms of upachara, vastra, so abharana can be a long list. That is how it just gets generally extended. I'll give you one example. See this Adarsha darshanancheva namaskarotha nartanam gita vadyecha ganani. See, in this 36 upacharas, they will list them also separately. Adarsha darshanam means, you have heard Adarsha Purusha. Have you heard? No. Adarsha means something very ideal, exemplary. Okay. So Adarsha. Okay. So one who can be emulated. Okay. Rama can be described as Adarsha Purusha. So Adarsha Purusha in the sense Asamantat Darshyate. Okay. Asamantat by all people is shown as an example. That is how the word Adarsha comes. Okay. Darshayati, you can say. Darshyate, you can say. Now, this Adarsha is used to refer to mirror. So, Adarsha Darshanam means correct. Tumena priyate vandihi yathadarisho malena yatholbe navato garbha tha tene dhamma. Correct. So that is where the word Adarsha Darshanam means showing the mirror to Ishvara. Then we have Namaskara. Then we have Nartanam. Then they are all listed separately. Geetam, Vadyam, Ganam. So they are all different upacharas. Samasta Rajopachara, Devopachara, Bhaktipachara, Shaktipachara. So all that they say. So they will be separately listed as a long list. Then it will become 64 also. They have taken up to 64. To just give you an example. So here in this list of 16, so you don't list all of them separately. Okay, that is the idea. Okay. So Abharana, Gandha, Kunkuma, Pushpa, Dhupa, Deepa. Just go. Okay. Nirajanam. And then these are all separately listed. That is the kind of thing. Now here you start with Ratnai Kalpitamasanam Himajalai Snanam. So you see if you can list think some 7 or 8 will come. See, asanam, snanam, see, divyambaram. Then you have chandanam, see, pushpam, see, patra rachitam pushpancha, see, thupam, deepam. That is all. So 7 are listed in this. That is all. Will come. Correct. So now you see. So Ratnai Kalpita Masana. In fact, this is something which is to be done and generally practiced also by many people. Not elaborately. In some places they do it elaborately also. So when I went to this UP Nepal border in India, so they still try to follow what has been listed in the scriptures. So they will receive you. So immediately they will make you sit somewhere. Then they will bring some kalasha of water. Some big tambalam will be there. So they will do this pada prakshalanam. And then they will prasanam sometimes. See, they do all this. And sometimes they will do this, all kind of things for 5 minutes. The upachara, as he has traveled, sadhu has traveled a long distance. That is how the tradition is followed. There is a sloka also. Pitham dattva sadhave bhyagataya in Viduraniti. Now repeat those. Pitham dattva sadhave bhyagataya. Pitham dattva sadhave bhyagataya. Pitham dattva sadhave abhyagataya. Pitham dattva sadhave bhyagataya.
Pitham dattva sadhave bhyagataya.
Aniyapaha. 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 Parinirnijya padau.
Parinirnijya padau. Parinirnijya padau.
Parinirnijya.
Parinirnijya padau. Parinirnijya padau.
Sukham prishtva.
Sukham prishtva. Sukham prishtva.
Prativedyatma samstham.
Prativedyatma samstham. Prativedyatma samstham.
Tato dadyat.
Tato dadyat. Tato dadyat.
Annamavekshya dhiraha.
Annamavekshya dhiraha. Annamavekshya dhiraha.
So this is how it is said. It pitham dattva sadhave bhyagataya aniya apaha parinirnijya padau. So why am I saying this is, see, we receive this sadhu also. So like Ishvara, whatever you do, we do. So that is because of this Shuddha Chittattva, Nirmala Chittattva. So this Pitham Dattva Sadhave Abhyagataya Aniya Apaha, bring water, Parinirnijya Padau, Sukham Prishtva. So then you ask Kushala Prashna. Then Atma Samstham, just to say something about you, ask something. These are all something which can be learned. If you read the first sarga of Raghuvamsha, so how beautifully this Vasishtha and Dilipa, their conversation, amazing description. We learn several things. So Parinirnijya Padu, so then Annam Avekshya Dhiraha. So then you offer food and so on. So this is how. Now you can see the same thing. See, Ratni Kalpitamasanam. Here you want to offer. See, you have this Bhagavan in your mind. So you create an asana for him. You want him to come and reside in you. Okay. So imagine that you are receiving someone. So what you do is, so You invite them and create an asana for them comfort. And here you want to create an asana ratnai kalpitam. Not normal asana, ratnai kalpitam.
Yes.
Studded with gems. Ratnai kalpitam asanam. So depending upon the kind of person whom you invite, you would like to give different. So suppose you invite Narendra Modi, you cannot put a small chair like it is like that. Okay, so he is Sarveshwara, right? In fact, this puja also is a verse which you should know. Boy, you should know this. See, there are various things. See, Bhagavan is Pujya. We are Pujakas. And the act is Puja. Right? Puja Kriya. Pujyaha Ishvaraha. Pujakaha ayam Jiva. So this is how it goes. Now, depending upon the Pujyatvam, okay, so the puja is performed differently. Now, normally Ishvara itself, so you vary this. Okay. Suppose your own colleague comes, some asana will be there. The boss of the company comes, a different kind of a treatment. Okay. This is how it will be. And then a prime minister of a nation, you will do something. So this is how the. So this Pujyatvam varies. Pujyatvam varies. Pujaka may be same. And depending upon the Pujya, so the other peripheries that you try to include will vary. Right? So what makes the Pujya Pujya? So there, and there is an interesting verse. They say, see, money is respected, Vidya is respected, friendship is respected, relation is respected. All of them deserve some respect at different levels. So there is one interesting verse. Vittam bandhurvayah karma. Vittam bandhurvayah karma. Vittam bandhurvayah karma. Vidya bhavati panchami.
Vidya bhavati panchami. Vidya bhavati panchami.
Etani manyasthanani.
Etani manyasthanani.
Manya. Manya is same as Pujya. Etani
manyasthanani.
Have you seen some fellow, some advertisement is on. If he wears the dress, he will become Manyavar. Have you seen? Somewhere was there. Have you seen that? Some company advertised Manyavar. Etani manyasthanani.
Etani manyasthanani.
Etani
manyasthanani.
Gariyo yadyaduttaram.
Gariyo yadyaduttaram. Gariyo yadyaduttaram.
It says, Vittam bandhuhu vayaha karma. And Vidya. So all of them are to be respected. Vittam bandhuhu vayaha karma vidya. So this karma is, you can just take their position. He is holding the responsibility of running a nation. Understand? He is holding the responsibility of running a huge organization. Okay? So he is a wealthy fellow with some respect. Bandhuhu is relative. So there is a certain relation connected through blood. Okay? So this is, Bandhu is also divided into 3 types anyway. So there is something called Atma Bandhu, there is something called Pitru Bandhu, Matra Bandhu. So Vittam Bandhu, then Vayaha, age. So, then Karma, then Vidya. Vittam Banthur Vayash Karma Vidya Bhavati Panchami. So Etani Manyasthani. All of them are Manyasthana. Gariyo Yadyadutta. That is what is very important. I think this is in Manusmriti also. Gariyaha means Uttaram Gariyaha. Means the later supersedes the former. So which means ultimately Vidya. Ultimately is the Vidya which is to be highly respected. Okay. Etani Manyasthanani. So therefore, if someone is Vidyavan, real Vidyavan, then Vayaha does not matter. Okay. So Vittam is given the lowest rank, and Vidya is given the highest position. See, so all of them are Pujya. See, it is the presence of this element which makes the Pujyatvam in that. Now, when you consider Ishvara, in all these senses, he is the supreme. Okay. So he is Sarvajna, he is Sarvabandhu. Okay. So he is the source of all Vidya. So therefore, so you want to give the highest thing for him. Therefore, Ratnai Kalpitam Asanam, not an ordinary seat for you. Okay. Ratnai Kalpitam Asanam. Then he says, Himajalaihi Snanam. Over. Himajalaihi Snanam. I want to bring the purest form of water. Himajalaihi Snanam. Then he says, Divyambaram. Divyambaram. Divya is something which is really catching eyes. That is how we have to understand. Divyambaram. Divyam Ambaram. Okay. Then, Nana Ratna Vibhushitam. See, Nana Ratna Vibhushitam. So now you see, Snana Ratna Vibhushitam Divyambar. He is trying to sort of club. See? So the cloth itself can be studded with gems. Okay. Nana Ratna Vibhushitam. Nana Ratnihi Vibhushitam Divyambaram. Then Mrigamada Mudankitam Chandanam. Chandanam is qualified. Qualified by the phrase. Which phrase? Mrigamada Mudankitam. See, Ankitam means marked by. Ankitam means marked by. The word Anka means mark. See, that is how you find the word Shashanka. Have you heard? Shashank. Shashanka means what? Sashi and Shashanka are one and the same. But the derivation is slightly different.
Steam of the bishop of
Shiva should be described as Shashankanka.
Shasha is the rabbit mark.
Adorned by the rabbit.
Adorned is it? Marked by. So the one who has rabbit as its mark.
On the other side, rabbit. Does it see the rabbit? We have cited, we are showing the rabbit in the book.
They would not have seen moon.
What do you see the flag? You don't see rabbit in the moon. That's black.
See, so when you have a certain pattern, then the pattern is generally associated with what we know. That is how we try to describe the pattern. So even in the sky, suppose you say, see, this various constellations, you recognize a certain pattern, and based on that, you give the name. Okay. So Leo, Scorpio, etc., etc. Because prominent stars, if you locate and then draw the contour, you will be getting this pattern. Similarly, in moon, you find certain dark patches, the craters. That craters do not reflect the light with the same intensity as the other parts. Therefore, they look a little darker. Okay. So that pattern, if you see, then that will look like a hair sitting. Okay. There will be two things. Next time, full moon, you should see that. So therefore, it is called Shashanka. Shashaha Ankaha Yasya Saha. Shashankaha. Similarly, Shashi also is like that. Suffix is different. So in Shashi, you have a certain suffix added. Shashanka is a compound found with two words. See, the compound is, you should have two nouns. Shasha and Anka. So Shashaha, Ankaha, Yasya Saha. For whom the mark is hair. So Shashi means like Dhani. The one who possesses. It is a ini pratyaya, suffix. Okay, the one which possesses. Okay. So like Matup, like Dhanavan. You can say Dhani or Dhanavan. Okay. Bali, Balavan. Correct. So the suffix is different. One is, perfect, very good, correct. Guni means, so Guni is with the suffix in. Yeah, ini pratyaya. Guni, Gunina, Gunina. Correct. Okay, very good. So here, Mrigamada Modankitam Chandanam. Okay. So Ankitam Chandanam means that which is marked by. So mark is something which distinguishes from the other person. Okay. So mark or grade also in colleges, whatever they offer, that distinguishes. So this Mrigamada Modankitam means Mriga refers to a kind of a deer. That some deers, they have something in their belly, musk. So that has a nice fragrance. The deer does not know where it comes from. It keeps searching. Kasturi, correct. So that Gandha is what is referred to by the word Mriga Mada Amoda. Okay. So Tena Amodena Ankitam means you use that to add more flavor to the Chandan. Okay. Mriga Mada Amoda Ankitam Chandanam. That you offer. Okay. Then Jati Champaka Bilvapatra Rachitam. Jati Champaka Bilvapatra Rachitam. Pushpancha Dhupam Tatha Deepam Deva Dayanite Pasupate Kritkalpitam Grihyata. He is listing a variety of flowers and leaves. Okay. So all of them have brilliant fragrance, Jati Champaka. Then we have this Bilva Patra. The Bilva Patra is something very, very special. So it has various kinds of connotations. See, there is some famous verse. Somebody sings Tridalam Trigunakaram. Ekabilva. Okay. See, this Tridalam Trigunakaram. Tridalam is a description of the physical characteristic. It's a very, that is how the patra is. Trigunakaram means all of them have to There are various things. That is the whole Bilva Vriksha. Now, this Trigunakaram means all of them have to be good, all the three. I mean, that is how you conceive, you select and then offer. Can be metaphorically understood as so you try to offer that. So this is how we can visualize in various ways. Now, Bilva Patra Rachitam Pushpancha. Then he says, Dhupam Tatha Deepam Devadayanite Pashupate Kalpitam Grihyatam. Here he says, Krit Kalpitam Grihyatam. These are not something which is physically given. All of them have been created by my own mind, and I am offering these things to you. Okay. Etat sarvam Krit Kalpitam Grihyatam means may you kindly receive it. Okay. So there is nothing which we need to offer for him, because he is the giver of everything. So this verse basically gives you a certain way of appreciating of how we need to reciprocate for what we have received from Ishvara. Okay. So he has blessed us with all this, and as a matter of gratitude, so you try to offer this, and in maintaining this attitude, so you feel that you have done what you are supposed to do. It's very important. That is what even in Bhagavad Gita we have seen. Ishtan bhogan hivo deva.
Ishtan bhogan hivo deva.
Bhavita is there. There is a Kriya Pada.
Dasyante yajna bhavitaha Vairdattana pradayaityah Yo bhunte stena eva saha.
It's a very powerful message that Bhagavad Gita gives. So all this is something which is given to us. So you can't create anything. Suppose the green is so beautiful. We can't create. It is something which is given. Okay. So we can only facilitate to some extent the growth. Okay. There also it is not completely left to our hands. So it is the microbes which have to act. Okay. They have to provide the nutrients. That is true with even Sharira. Your own Sharira. Okay. So yesterday only somebody from faculty was telling, so I have been told that I have got this autoimmune disorder. What is it called? It is called autoimmune disorder.
Yes.
Name?
Yes.
That is the name?
Yes. So under that so many things will happen.
Yeah, so many things will happen. See.
Everything is they can't happen.
Okay, so that is another way. So this, anyway, these are all things which make us feel that our understanding is very limited. But instead of developing Vinaya, we try to develop arrogance with whatever little we have. That is a problem. That is the worst disorder that one can have. Instead of Vidyadadati Vinayam, if Garva were to grow, then that fellow becomes Avinaya Akara. Some fellows I have seen like Radha. So here, this Kalpitam Grihyatam, see there is a larger understanding that is also implied through this. So you conceive of Ishvara as Vasu Pradata. Whatever Vasu that you have, he has given us. We say that health is the best wealth, etc. Right? So who has given? You can't create. It is all given to us. So at most we can do some samrakshana. Swasthasya swasthya samrakshana. So for that we can do. And this also requires His grace. And for the fact that He has given us all, He is the Upadana Karana, He is the Nimitta Karana. So you try to conceive of, then we express. That is why this injunction itself is there. Not only this Tairdattan apradayekyaha yo bhunte stena eva saha. That is a strong way of saying. The other one is something before. He created this. Sahayajñāh praja srištva purovacha prajapatihi anena prasavishyatvam
eshavosthushta kamadhuk.
So eshavosthu ishtakamadhuk. Ishtakamadhuk means whatever you want, this can give you. For that, Sahayajñāh praja srištva anena prasavishyatvam means there is an interdependency which you understand and then try to respect the other things. So that is what said. So we'll move on to quickly the next one. Sauvarne navaratna khanda rachite.
Sauvarne navaratna khanda rachite. Sauvarne navaratna khanda rachite.
Kritam payasam.
Patre kritam payasam. Patre kritam payasam.
Bhakshyam panchavidham.
Bhakshyam panchavidham. Bhakshyam panchavidham.
Payodathiyutam.
Payodathiyutam. Payodathiyutam.
Phalam panakam.
Brahmaphalam panakam. Brahmaphalam panakam.
Shakanamayutam jalam ruchikaram.
Shakanamayutam jalam ruchikaram. Shakanamayutam jalam ruchikaram.
Karpura khandojvalam.
Karpura khandojvalam. Karpura khandojvalam.
Tambulam manasa maya virachitam.
Tambulam manasa maya virachitam. Tambulam manasa maya virachitam.
Bhaktya Prabho Svikuru.
Bhaktya Prabho Svikuru. Bhaktya Prabho Svikuru.
Sauvarne navaratna khanda rachite patre kritam payasam. So this whole verse, you can see, is a description of the various kinds of offerings that are made, okay, as Naivedya. So he says, Sauvarne. So this word, Sauvarna, is derived from Suvarna. Okay. So that is again, Sadi Vritti comes. Sauvarnam, Suvarna Sambandhi. Navaratna Khanda Rachite. See, this has been created with various studs. Okay. So Navaratna Khanda Rachite. Navaratna Khandaihi Rachitam means Nirmitam. Navaratna Khanda Rachite Patre. Sauvarne Patre.
Old vessel. Studied with gems.
Correct. See. So you can visualize. See. Sauvarne Navaratna Khanda Rachite Patre. Kritam Payasam. See. The key should be floating on. Patre kritam payasam. Then bhakshyam panchavitam payodathiyutam. So Panchavidham Bhakshyam. So he is saying. What are the 5 things?
Layam Chosham, that type, or Panchavidham is our the Panchamrita in that.
No, that is
5 tastes.
No, 6 tastes are there. 5 tastes.
Taste is not there. See. So this has to do with the way it is consumed. That is how the way, so this is a broad classification of the way we consume things. Bhakshya is something that is edible, that is all eatable.
So then Layam Chosham.
What else? In fact, we have in Bhagavad Gita we have a verse. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Chaturvidham Annam, he says. Now we have added one more, Panchavidham. See, Pachamyannam Chaturvidham. So there, I think the commentators say, they classify it like this. See, Bhakshyam, Bhojyam, Lehyam, Choshyam. These are the 4 things that are listed there. The 5th can be some Peyam. Now, the distinction that is generally drawn is the following. Bhakshyam belongs to that category where you have to grind it by your teeth and consume it. Okay? Bhakshyam. Okay. So suppose somebody gives you some chakli. So then you have to grind it by the teeth and you completely consume. So vegetables, they are not fully cooked. So then the raw vegetables, carrot, etc. This bhakshyam, somewhat hard. Okay. So which can be ground by your teeth. So this is bhakshyam. Then bhojyam is something where you need not put that effort to, suppose let us say, payasam. Some kheer made. So tadak. Okay, that can go directly. So without employing the teeth. The badam halwa will go like if you have that. See, you have both bhojya and bhaksya. Okay. One is the laddu, where some nuts will be there, you have to use teeth. Okay. Then we have lehyam. Okay. The lehya is something which is sort of sticky in nature. Okay. But it will just go. Okay. So we have various lehya. Lihyate. Okay.
Here in our food, we can take some chutney or something, which is like, just like maybe some pickle is taken.
So this lehya is, I'll tell you.
We did in Diwali.
I'll tell. Correct. Perfect. That is considered as an antidote for all the all the bhaksha which goes later. Okay. So that lehyam is, see, something which is, so the juice has to be extracted by keeping in mouth. That is how it goes. So payasam is different. Tadak, it will go.
Yes.
Suppose you take, for instance, you take a piece of guda. Okay, ginger guda, whatever. So then you keep it in mouth. Okay, slowly it goes. Even the stick lehya, it doesn't just go like that. Okay? You have to keep in your mouth, and the saliva has to slowly melt it, and then it goes. Los Angeles. So anyway, that is so lehyam. But the form is not like that, it is hard. See, then we have this choshya, correct. So this choshya is where you have to bite, extract the juice and spit the rest. That is all sugar cane. Suppose you take tarak, then throw out. Okay. So this is what is choshyam. So then Peya is something like that. See, that's all. Coffee, tea, I don't know. But anyway, coconut water. Anyway, so all of them are Pakshyam Panchavitham. So Payodadhiyutam. Rambhaphalam. See, Rambhaphalam is banana.
Rambhaphala Rasayanam is also there. Like laying up.
Rambhaphalam Panakam. Shakanam Jalam Ruchikaram. Ayutam. Ayuta is just a figurative usage. Ayutam literally means 10 to the power 4. The number. Okay. Dasha. Then. You tell the number in Sanskrit. Dasha. No. That's not there. Wait. In Sanskrit, you have separate names for every power of 10. So unlike other languages where you have 10 to the power 3 billion, trillion. It's not like that. Every power has a name. So Ayutam, Niyutam, and so on, it just goes. Laksha, Koti, Arbudha, Nirbuddha. So they're all there, all powers of 10. So 10 to the power 4 up to 10 to the power 17 in some works. That is very common. And there are people who have listed even up to 10 to the power 150. Huge. That is all.
What is the word for that?
The word I don't know. See, I don't remember. Okay. So they have gone. It's a listing. Okay. That is anyway. So now you see. So Shankhakanam Ayutam means so varieties of shastras. That's what it means. Jalam, Ruchikaram. Of course, Ayutam will be there. See, variety if you want to find out, you can easily get. There's no problem. Jalam, Ruchikaram. Ruchikaram Jalam. That is very important. See, Karpura Khando Jivalam Tambulam. So it is a qualifier to Tambulam. You can understand. See, flavored Tambul. Karpura Khando Jivalam Tambulam.
Ruchikaram is to Karpura? Ruchikaram?
No, Ruchikaram Jalam. See, this is very, very important. It's tasty water.
Tasty water means
not the mineral water. Yeah. See, natural water is really tasty. See. So this mineral added, mineral removed, that's not really tasty. So this is what is Ruchikaram Jalam. Karpura Khandojvalam Tamburam Manasa. See, in Chennai, at one point, I remember 25-30 years ago, that there will be some gandha in the water. Okay. So my father's uncle, see, he used to live only on the banks of Kaveri. We used to enjoy in summer his place. So then he was once staying in our house for a couple of days. So after taking bath, he came and told my father, see, one thing is common, whether I am in my village, Kodumudi, or in Chennai. So while taking snana, I have to close my nose. Kaveri, when you dip, you close your nose and dip. Here also, that Gandha Corporation water was like, he was just joking. See, snana, I did the same way. Shaka, Jalam Ruchikaram. Okay. Karpura Khandojvalam Tambulam Manasa Maya Vidachitam. Ya Prabhu Sri Guru. See, so what is important here is Bhaktya Vidachitam. That is the most important word here. Okay. Bhaktya Virachitam. See, whatever is offered with Bhakti. See, now we have this verse, no? Shivananda Lahari. This Marga Vartita Paduka. Kannappa Nayanar. There is a verse. Marga Vartita Paduka Pashupate Angasya Kurchayate Gandushambu Nishechanam Praripoho Divyabhishekayate Inchit Bhakshita Mamsashesha Kabalam Navyopaharayate Bhakti Kim Nakarotyaho Anacharo Bhaktavatamsayate. So there is an episode, see, Bhaktya Virachitam, where so the story is what? Not that, see, that the fellow was observing how people do. Verses observing how people do this Abhisheka. So he saw the priest doing. Okay? So they will bring some leaves, they will bring that bunch of grass and then put on the head and then do the Abhisheka. Okay? They will bring some Naivedya and all. So all that he was observing. He also wanted to do. But this fellow does not have all that. Okay? This hunter. So something has to be kept on the head and then you pour the water. So here the description is, this fellow did not have a bowl to bring the kalasha to do this. Neither did he have the gadarba, etc. So he brought his own chappal and then put it on the head. And then, so he brought water in the mouth and then spit there. Margavartita Paduka. Marge Avartitam means that which has been employed. Paduka is that sandal. Margavartita Paduka Pashupatehe Angasya Kurchayate. Kurcha is something which is kept on the top. So that itself serves as the Kurcha. Once Bhakti is there, Margavartita Paduka Pashupatehe Angasya Kurchayate. Gandusha is the name. Okay. Again, English and no name. Echil. There's nothing like that. Gandushambu. Ambu is water. Gandushambu Nishechanam.
Swish to water in the swishing of oil. So oil pulling, when that word is also called Gandusha in Ayurveda. The word is to swish whatever water is swished in the mouth.
Okay. Gandushambu Nishechanam. Puraripoho Divyabhisheka. That becomes the great Abhisheka for. And then Kinchit Bhakshita Mamsashesha Kabalam. He ate something and then brought the rest. Navyopaharayate. That becomes a great, delicious food for you. Finally, he says, Bhakti Kimna Karoti. What does Bhakti not do? Bhakti Kimna Karotyaho Anacharo. Vanacharaha Bhaktavatamsayati. He becomes the foremost among the devotees. Bhakta avatamsaha means Shrestha. Avatamsayati. So Bhaktya Samarpitam is very important. Okay. Then quickly. Chatram Chamarayor Yugam Vijanakam.
Chatram Chamarayor Yugam Vijanakam. Chatram Chamarayor Yugam Vijanakam.
Chadarshakam Nirmalam.
Chadarshakam Nirmalam. Chadarshakam Nirmalam.
Veena Bheri Mridangaka Halakala.
Veena Bheri Mridangaka Halakala. Veena Bheri Mridangaka Halakala.
Itancha Nrityam Tatha.
Itancha Nrityam Tatha. Itancha Nrityam Tatha.
Saštangam Pranatisthir Bahubitha.
Saštangam Pranatisthir Bahubitha. Saštangam Pranatisthir Bahubitha.
Etat Samastam Maya.
Etat Samastam Maya. Etat Samastam Maya.
Kalpena Samarpitam Tava Vibho.
Sankalpena samarpitam tava vibho. Sankalpena samarpitam tava vibho.
Jam grihana prabho.
Pujam grihana prabho. Pujam grihana prabho.
Chhatram chamarayoryugam vyajanakam chadarishakam nirmali cha adarishakam nirmalam. See, nirmalam adarishakam. So this is showing that, showing the mirror. So then after the puja is over, so we say Chatram Samapriyami, Chamaram Samapriyami. Some places they do this physically also. So sometimes they just show and they will remove. So there are various practices to denote them. So he says Chatram Chamarayor Yugam. So this is the way we would like to greet our guest Parameshwara. So Chatram Chamarayor Yugam. So for you to take shelter, they offer this. Then, so I keep fanning you. Chatram Chamarayor Yugam. Then this showing this mirror. So all these are basically to just think like this. So for you to have shelter, for the shelter that he has already provided you. Unlike others who don't have shelter, you just sort of show. So as a symbolic thing. So this is given to me by your blessing. Okay. And similarly, if you want to show, what is the point in showing this mirror? It is just your feeling that may my mind be like a pure mirror to reflect right things. This is what you try to see. The other way of understanding is if something, the reflections, if you get reflected, may your qualities be reflected in mind. And in reflection, there is a much more beauty also. You see, suppose you see some photos, you have this and the reflection, both of them, the Kailasa mountain and Manasarovar lake reflection. So the Taj Mahal lake reflection. Similarly, you want the qualities of Ishvara. May they be reflected in you. So this is how you try to do this. Then Veni, Veena, Bheri. These are all various names of musical instruments. Geetancha, Nrityam, Tatha. Then finally he says, Sashtangam Pranatihi, Stutil Bahuvitha, Hi Etat Samastam Maya. There will be a stage when you cannot do this pranati. You understand? The body will not cooperate. So then you can only think of doing it. Manasa. Sashtangam. In fact, pranati, namaskara is also classified into 3-4 types. Uttama pranati, madhyama pranati, adhama pranati. Now many of us do only adhama pranati. I have seen this. This uttama pranati. In fact, they will say, so kayikam, vachikam. So they do this classification. This kayika pranati with various parts touching various things is what is uttama pranati. Uttama pranati is that. So madhyama pranati, some of these fellows, North Indians, I have seen. Flying up. Have you seen?
Yes. They don't touch also, but it's like bending, but not touching.
You can even see there is nothing like Manasika Vyapara also. It is just like, see, there is Bhavana, Manasika Bhavana is also truly not there. Vachika is also, that is Adhama Pranati.
Not because even to the elders and while doing Namaskar, it's just going.
So this is one thing. In fact, they have given verses. I'll tell you. See, Kayiko Vagbhavaschaiva Manasas Trividhas Smritaha Namaskarastu Tatvajnaihi Uttamatama Madhyamaha. So they are classified as three: Uttama, Adhama, Madhyama. Then how do you do this Uttama? It's a description. See, Prasarya Padau Hastaucha Patitva Dandavat Kshitau. This is a very important thing. So there is a way of showing respect. Patitva Dandavat Kshitau. One has to immediately, like a stick means, it should be naturally happening. Dandavat. Prasarya Padau Hastaucha. So see, you have to spread your, see, both the hands. So touch both the feet like this. This is how it is done. Prasarya Padau Hastaucha. Prasarya Padau Pushtataha Prasarya. Hastau Agre Prasarya. Prasarya Padau Hastaucha. Patitva Dandavat Kshitau. Then Janu means this place, knee. Okay. Janubhyam Dharanim Gatva. That is how it has to happen. Okay. Janubhyam Dharanim Gatva. Shirasa Sprishya Medini. Okay. So this forehead has to touch. Okay. So Kriyate Yo Namaskaraha Uttama Kayikastu Saha. So that is how the Namaskara. See, that is why he is saying Sashtangam Pranatihi. They are all listed also. Sashtangam Pranatihi. Then Stutir Bahuvidha. Bahuvidha Stutihi is to praise the glory of Ishvara in various ways. Okay. Bahuvidha Stutir Bahuvidha Yetat Samastam Maya Sankalpena Samarpitam Tava Vibhu Pujam Grihana Prabhu. Okay. So this entire Stuti, Stotra is all meant for this Bhavidha Stutihi. So many acharyas giving various kinds of stotras. Shivapad. See, Shivaparadha Kshamapanam. Śivamānasapūjā. There are so many stotras. Shivananda Lahari. Whatever it is, Saundarya Lahari. It is all basically to engage ourselves. So which the mind on its own cannot do. See, here he is saying Pujam Grihana Prabhu. So the only puja that is done is Deha Puja, not Deva Puja. That is what is generally done. See, the Snanam, this fellow does 3-4 times a day sometimes. Okay. So on the other hand, so they will not find time to go there, do some 5 minutes, 10 minutes, dhyana. So on that, no samaya. So this is something which at least even when you are hard pressed on a few days where you cannot really do, then at least you can do this kind of a thing. So that is the purpose of this. This doesn't mean that you do only Manasapūjā. So Manasa Bhojanam, will it help? So, Manasa Swagatam, suppose somebody thinks like, will you ever enter their house? So this Manasa is most important. That we have to first understand. So mere Kayika, that is what is done nowadays. I have seen this. These fellows who get into this big institutions, they only speak. See, there is no heart associated with what they are saying. Or mechanically, they will keep saying. I have seen this. It's terrible. So when you write also, they don't read the mail itself. They have some standard answer. They will just type that and then send it, or maybe even cut and paste. So this is the training that is offered. So on the other hand, these real fellows who have not entered the corridors of schools and colleges, see, they have better Shuddha Manas. See, that is what I have observed. So this is very, very important. Sankalpena samarpitam tava vibhu pujam grihana prabhu. Okay. So what do? Do we stop here? It's 4-5. I think we'll stop here and do later.
Yes. Whatever.
Okay. Om Sarve Pisikina Santu Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Shanti Shanti Shanti